Hi guys, it's the Macintosh Guide and I'm back again with a brand new video. Now this week we're going to be doing something quite interesting. We're going to be installing the Rockstar Launcher on the Steam Deck. Now something which is a bit different, as you can tell, we're going to be using OBS to record this because it makes life easier to be able to see it from a bigger screen. And also, as you can tell, I've got loads of cables in the way. I don't want to show you from a camera point of view looking down on the Steam Deck. So we've plugged it up. OBS is going to be running in a few seconds, and we're going to be doing a screen record on how to get Rockstar Launcher. It is a bit of a long video, just an FYI, but guys, let's get started on this one. So guys, for you to be able to install the Rockstar Launcher, it is a bit of a long process, but the first sure that it is in your Steam Deck is in the desktop mode. So as you can tell right now, I'm on the Linux side of it, but the machine needs to be on desktop mode. Now what you'll need is a web browser. Now in my instance I've got Firefox. You can use Chrome, whatever is convenient for you. You'll need to ensure that you're using it. The other thing you'll need to also make sure is that your Steam Deck is plugged in. As you can tell right here, my Steam Deck is plugged into a charger. And the other suggestion I also have is use a keyboard and mouse, because that will make your life easier when it comes to the later steps. So what we will start this off is by opening up our web browser, and we will go to the following website, and I'll link this in the description. It is https:// social club, and what we're basically going to be doing is downloading the Rockstar Games launcher. So Rockstar Games, if I can type, games.com Rockstar Games launcher / press enter, and what this will do is it will take you to Rockstar's web page for this. Now what you'll see is download for Windows option. Obviously you can't download this on Linux, so all we need to do is just click on download for Windows and wait for the installation to complete. So that will take us a couple of seconds, and there you go. We can now see that the Rockstar Launcher is there and present for us to see. So now we move on to the next step. Now that we have our Rockstar Launcher downloaded, what we'll now need to do is click on the Steam icon on our desktop, and you'll see that there's a little link mark here. You double click on it and you open up Steam, and let me just enlarge it for you. And then what we'll need to do is we'll need to add it as a non-Steam game. So we click on Games, add a non-Steam game to my library, and then we will need to click Browse, and we will need to find the exe, as we can see right here. And all we now need to do is just click open, and all we now need to do is just make sure that it has ticked the Rockstar Launcher as it has here, add selected programs, and we can now move on to the next step, which is going into our Rockstar Games library. So we look on our View Games library, and we shall see the Rockstar Game Launcher right here. And what we will need to do is click on the gear icon, properties, and then we will need to click on compatibility. And my capture card seems to have just gone blank. Sorry, we're back. And then we will need to click force the use of a specific tool, and we will need to make sure that we click on the drop down and select Proton Experimental. Now this will allow us to use the launcher, and all we now need to do is just close it, click on play, and then it will start launching the Rockstar Launcher in a couple of seconds. Let's just give it a bit of wait. Boom, it's right here. We need to click on English, and then we just need to click continue. We accept the terms and conditions, press continue, and then we will leave the location as default, as we see right here. Click continue again, and then all we do is we just need to wait. So it's finalizing, and now we just need to untick this box. It's important that you untick it and press close. So now that is done, which is great. Now what we'll also need to do is set the launch and start in target. So at the moment, if you press the play button, it will relaunch the installer, but we obviously don't want it to do that, so we'll need to change the target. So to be able to do this, we'll need to open up the preference panel again. So we'll need to bring up the settings context menu by clicking the cogwheel again, and then we will need to click on properties. And then what we'll need to do is we're going to rename the Rockstar Games shortcut. So in our instance, we need to click on the shortcut name here, and we just need to rename it to Rockstar Games Launcher. So we can do that by removing the spaces. And now that we've done that, we will need to update the target so that our Steam Deck will be able to launch the Rockstar Games Launcher. So what we now need to do, once we've renamed the Rockstar Games Launcher, we're now going to need to change the target. So for us to be able to do this, we need to go back to where the folder was. So we did that by clicking on the cogwheel and properties, and we will need to click on browse right next to where it says target, and then double click the folder so that it enlarges. You'll need to click on the home directory, and after you click on the home directory, you'll need to click on the little gears on the little options button on the top right and tick show hidden files. Once you've done that, you'll see that there's a bunch of hidden files that all of a sudden start showing up. The one that we're interested in is the one that's called .local. So we'll need to enter the .local folder, and you'll see that there's two folders in there called share and state. So we now need to double click on the share folder, and you'll see that there's a bunch of files here. What we will now need to do is click on the Steam folder, which is right here, and then we need to go down to Steam app, which is right here. So you should next change the folder named Steam apps. So for us to do this is we just need to double click in here, and we can see that there's a bunch of files again within this folder, and we'll now need to swap the compact data folder. This folder is where the apps are running through Proton are stored on your Steam Deck, and this includes the Rockstar Launcher we just installed. So as the Proton directories are named using a generated ID, you must sort the folders by date. So if we go into the compact data folder, and we can see that there's a bunch of folders within this. So it says to change the browser to order by click on date. So we do it, and ensuring the arrow is pointing down. So the date, we need to double click on it so the arrows are now pointing down, and we can see today's date of 1:41 p.m. So this is the latest folder we have. The folder belonging to the Rockstar Launcher should now be at the top as it is right now, and all we need to do is just open the directory and note down the name of this directory, as you'll need to know it later for the guide. So what I do is I tend to take a picture just so that I am 100% certain that this is the folder that I used before. So I've taken a picture of this number right here, and we go open the folder up. So now it says swap to the PVX folder, which we have, and it says the next folder you want to change is named Drive C. So this is the folder that we're now going to be in. So this is where the Proton simulates the C drive in our Steam Deck. So we double click into it, and we will now need to go into program files, not program files x86, but standard program files, and then we need to go into the Rockstar Games folder, and then we'll need to click into the launcher folder. And now that we're in here, so within this directory, we will now need to scroll down and select the launcher.exe. As we can see right here, doing this is going to fix the launch target for the Rockstar Games launcher on our Steam Deck. So we click on it once, click open, and you can now see the target directory has changed so that it's now facing that folder. So that's changing the target directory. Now we're going to be looking at the start in folder. So as mentioned, what we now need to do is we need to change the start in directory. So what we'll need to do is click on browse again, and it will bring us back to the File Explorer equivalent on Linux. What we'll need to do is just right click, show hidden folders, and we'll need to navigate to where we see local, and we'll need to click on the drop down menu, as you can see right here. Then we'll need to click on share, as you can see right here, and then we need to go all the way down to Steam folder. So we open that up here, and bear in mind you will need to start scrolling down, as that's going to obviously help you in terms of visibility. So we click on Steam apps next, as we did right here, and then we'll need to go to the compact data directory, and you will now need to find the folder that you took the picture of or saved. So in our instance, I believe the folder that we had, which I'm just going to double check now, is the one that ends in 1754, which is this long one right here. So but please make sure that you do go to the correct one, and then we will need to go to PFX folder, which is now opened up, and then we will need to go down to Drive C, and then we will need to go to program files, and we shall then need to go into the Rockstar Games folder. And now that we're at the right place, we just need to select the launcher folder. We don't need to go anywhere else into the folder, and just press OK right here. And as you can see, the target and the start in is now showing both correct. So we just need to make sure that that's correct. So that's putting in both the directories in place. Now that we've got both our directories sorted, there's one crucial step we'll need to do before we continue any further, and that is to make sure that both the target and the start in both start with a quotation at the start and end on both of our directories. So as you can see right here, I'm at the beginning of the target directory, so I am just adding quotation mark to start off with, and then going all the way to the end of the directory and ending it also with a quotation mark. And we'll need to make sure that that's done in both of our instances right here. So as you can tell, I've done it on the target and I've done it on our launcher So it's just important that we get that aspect done correctly, because if we don't do this, these fields are missing the double quotes, then it will cause the Rockstar Launcher to not run on the Steam Deck. So very important that we get that step done. So once that's done, all we now need to do is just close the properties menu for it, and we can now close Steam completely. So our next step is we're going to have to create a folder to store games which are going to be downloaded via the Rockstar Games Launcher. So this can be your Red Dead Redemptions, Red Dead Redemptions 2, GTA 5, you get the gist. While we can install these within the Proton directory, they're harder to actually manage, and if we ever remove the launcher, it will also remove the games alongside with it. So what we want to do is we want to create a directory. So we'll need to open up the Dolphin file browser, which is the file explorer in Linux, by clicking the folder icon, as I've done right here. And then what we'll need to do is we'll need to right click on the main window. So what I suggest you do is you go to the home directory, and then you right click in the main window space, so any empty space. And what I also suggest is you just double click to open everything up, as you see right here, and you right click and you create new and create folder, and what I suggest you name it is Rockstar Games. As I've done right here, and then you just need to click the OK button, and you can see it is showing up right here in our home directory. Now with the folder created, we'll now need to split the file explorer, so that we can do split window, and all we need to do is on the top right we just need to click on split, and you can now see that we have two home directories showing up on our Explorer. So once we've done that, we need to also make sure that we've got our hidden files showing. So as I mentioned, easiest way to do that is just right click and show hidden files over here. So you just need to click on the hamburger menu and you'll see show hidden files. Just tick it so you can see it on both our instances, which is great. So what we now need to do is we will need to, the first folder we'll need to find and open within Dolphin is named .local. So in our second window right here, and to stop any confusions, you can click on either directory and you can always just hide as we've seen it here. So I've hidden it in one, but I've kept the show hidden folder live in directory 2. So what we'll need to do is find the .local folder that we have right here, and we open it up. Then we go to share. Then we go to Steam, if I can find it, Steam. Then we go to Steam apps. And now we need to find the compact data, as again it's the directories are very much the same. And to find the correct Proton directory, we should order the folders by the last modified. So as we mentioned, it's the folder that we used last, so which is this 17541. That's the one I used last. And we just need to double click into it. We'll need to go to the PFX directory, and then we'll also need to go back into Drive C. And as you can see, there's a bunch of files we see within the PFX folder. In the Drive C folder, I apologize. And all we now need to do is, when we're in the correct directory, we'll need to click and drag the Rockstar Games folder from the left to the right side. So from here, we're going to be dragging it into here. So for us to do this, we're going to be dragging it from left to right, and we'll see a pop-up show up, and we'll get 4 options. We'll get move here, copy here, link here, or cancel. We'll need to click on link here, and you can now see that there's a little padlock icon that's showing up right, not a chain link, sorry, not a padlock, a chain link icon that's showing up next to Rockstar Games folder. So that means that we now have the link in place. So that's all of the linkage that we needed to do on our Steam Deck. So now that we've accomplished that, we can finally close this window, and we can come back to our main screen. And what we need to now do is we can finally launch the Rockstar Games Launcher for the first run on the Steam Deck. So for us to do this, we need to go to our Steam library, as we've got right here, and we'll need to go to our Rockstar Games Launcher, as we have right here, and we just need to click the play button, and this will give us the basically our result of what we wanted it to pretty much do. So it might take a couple of minutes, but as you can see, it's now connecting to Rockstar Games Launcher, so it's quite different to what we usually see, and you can tell it's updating the Rockstar Games Launcher as well, so that's already a positive sign from this. So that menu's kind of disappeared. It's now connecting us back. It's installing the prerequisites. And what this will now do is bring you to sign in to your Rockstar Club account, as it has done here. So I'm going to just stop the video. I'm going to sign in to the Rockstar Launcher, and what I highly suggest is you also click on Remember Me and auto sign in. So just remember that, guys, sign in to the Rockstar Games Launcher. So I'll be back after signing in. Once you've signed in, you would have probably received a pop-up about if you want it to find your scan-friendly installations. Now in our instance, if we've not installed a Rockstar game before, you could just click cancel, which is what I did in my instance. But now what we need to do is we will now need to change the default install location. So by default, the Rockstar Games Launcher doesn't allow us to change the default install location globally. Instead, we're going to have to do this manually every single time. Now for us to do this, we need to select the game. So in our instance, I've got Red Dead Redemption 2. Click on install now, and then you'll see the directory right here. So currently it's pointing to C drive, program files, and Rockstar Games. However, we do not want to do that. We want to point it to the folder that we created earlier. So what we'll need to do is we need to click on browse, and you can see currently it's selected here. However, we need to copy it to Rockstar Games folder right here instead. So we click on Rockstar Games, click on OK, and you shall now see that it's instead installing it directly to C Rockstar Games drive, which is obviously what we want it to do. And that's how you are able to install your games on, to ensure that you need to make sure that this is done every time you're installing a game. So now that we've successfully installed the launcher, we obviously don't want to constantly be in the Linux desktop to be able to do this. So all we now need to do is just return to game mode. So we double click on return to game mode. It will close the launcher, and it will boot our Steam Deck into Steam OS, as it is doing right now. You can see that there's no signal, and hopefully we should see Steam OS show up. Let's just give it a couple more seconds. There you go. So we now see the Steam logo, and ta-da, we're right here. So as you can see, we now see a Rockstar Games Launcher show up, and this also will show up in our Steam library as well. So if we went into library, we went into non-Steam will also see it there. So if you now ever want to be able to install or play your Rockstar games, you just need to click on the Rockstar Games Launcher, click on play. You can see that the Steam loading bar has now showed up. So let's just give it a bit of a time. And guys, it's remarkable we can do stuff like this. Rockstar's done a really good job in terms of us being able to install our games directly onto our Steam Deck. So yeah, Rockstar, hats off to them. And you can see right here, it's already downloading a game for me that I was downloading on the Linux side, and the progress is carried over, so it's on about 6.6 gigs. But guys, that's how you get the Rockstar Launcher and be able to play your Rockstar games on your Steam Deck. So if you like this video, guys, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next week for more Steam Deck related videos.